Hi, I'm Emma, and welcome to my YouTube channel, The Miss Emma Emma. Today we're going to continue on the Simpsons series, talking about my top 5 picks for the best episodes of each season. And today we're actually all the way to season 5, which aired in 1993 to 1994. And yes, I'm wearing another head. It's like a prize from Universal, because why not? Itchy and scratchy, bitches. But I only have 2, so don't worry, the next video I will not have this. I know it's distracting, but awesome. So, there were 22 episodes of Season 5, which always does make it challenging to pick 5 of the standout episodes, especially when I love the show so much. It's funny because it seems like when I've looked at my videos that up till now, a lot of the episodes are more like pulling at your heartstrings, because I'm not doing the funniest, I'm doing like my favorite, or like, that I really would kind of go back to again and again. But when I'm listing today's for season 5, so funny. So, let's get to it. So, for my 5th pick, I am going to go with the 14th episode of the season, Lisa versus Malibu Stacy. Now, what's really cool about this one is it gives you kind of like the wish fulfillment of the show, because, Lisa was very much a feminist, is very much a feminist, and they put out a new Malibu Stacy doll, which is her favorite toy. And Malibu Stacy is like the Simpsons version of a Barbie, in case you're not aware of that. And it's talking, but it says really sexist phrases. So, she decides she's going to track down the woman who made the doll, who's Stacy Lowell. And she's played by Kathleen Turner, which is amazing. Oh, I just love her. Read her book, by the way. But she kind of gets her back into the spirit of, like, why there was a doll in the first place. And they go to create a new doll. And Stacy names it after Lisa, since it was her idea, and they call it Lisa Lionheart. And it's a talking doll, and it says things like, when I get married, I'm keeping my own name. And it's so great, and it's obviously hilarious. But then it comes crashing down to reality when at the end of the episode they try to premiere this doll, which isn't getting the backing of the big corporation, like Malibu Stacy, and everybody starts to head toward it and get interested, all the little girls, and they release a competing doll at the same time, which is a new Malibu Stacy doll, now with a hat. And it's just so accurate of real life. It's like I collect Pops now, Funko Pops. And you probably know them as those little figurine dolls that are just adorable. And they have one that's a variant, because they have like the regular version, and then they'll have like other characters with different clothes and stuff. And there's actually one for Kung Fu Panda that's called Po with Hats. And every time I see it, like whenever I go to the mall, I can't help chuckling, and me and my boyfriend like point it out to each other all the time, but it's just so accurate of that show. Okay, so my 4th choice for season 5 is actually Sweet Seymour Skinner's Badass Song, and it's episode 19 of the season. And what happens is Bart gets Principal Skinner fired, because he's Bart. But then he feels bad about it, so he tries his best to become friends with him. And then Principal Skinner then tries to, like, he was in the army originally, so he goes back to the army, and Bart has to get him out. I think I really like this one, and Frank Walker is a guest star. But I think I really like this one a lot, because it's one of the first times we see Principal Skinner as a human, and he gets to be, like, snide, and he's just human about losing his job and everything. And you don't usually see him as that strict authority figure, especially in the early seasons. They didn't get to, like, flesh him out so crazy. Also, stuff in this episode will contradict stuff in the later season whenever, it turns out that Skinner actually stole the identity of someone else in the army. I know that's an episode, like, a lot of the creators hated and a lot of fans hated. I loved it. But, to me, it doesn't interfere with what I like about the show whenever shows change over a period of years or an episode or whatever, and you try to go back and nitpick older episodes. Like, even if they hadn't basically tried to make that episode uncanon by at the end saying let's forget about it, it still wouldn't affect my enjoyment of this episode. It's just really interesting to see Bart and Skinner hang out outside of school, and like I said, in a season like this earlier where that didn't happen a lot. My third choice for season 5 is actually the 12th episode, and it's called Bart Gets Famous. And this is another one that I think about a lot, because what happens is Bart, like, stumbles onto the set of Krusty's show, and he says, I didn't do it, like, trying to get out of something, and then I didn't do it becomes his catchphrase, and he starts appearing on the show, and he's famous, and it's a very meta episode. Like, they later did a lot of meta episodes with The Simpsons, especially with, like, those weird, like, the variety show and the, like, sort of, like, compilation type of episodes that I'm not crazy about on any show, but this was a really neat way of doing that, like, merchandise, stuff like that, where people would actually be watching you on TV. And Conan O'Brien guest stars, which, you know, he's a writer and everything on The Simpsons, but then he just got his show not too shortly before this, and since he hosted a talk show in there, he got to interview Bart on the show. So that's really cool. My second favorite episode for this season, which of course would be the first if it wasn't for that Halloween episode, is episode 9, The Last Temptation of Homer. Michelle Pfeiffer and Phil Hartman guest star, and Michelle Pfeiffer actually plays Mindy, which I didn't know until just now. I had no idea, and I've watched this episode so many times, but she's so good. So, Mr. Burns has to hire a woman at the nuclear power plant, and he hires this chick, Mindy, and she's really hot and nice and funny and everything, but she's like a female Homer. Like, she likes to eat and be crass and all this other stuff that's great. And Homer's developing a crush on her, and it's hilarious, but also is one of those ones that it's definitely Homer making the right decision in his marriage. That he has the chance to cheat on his wife because he has to go to a trip with her, with this woman, like a work trip, business trip, and he does not cheat on Marge, even though you kind of want him to. Like, not that I dislike Marge, but the way it's set up, like, it's very enticing as a human being. But again, it's also hilarious. Like, there's a favorite part of mine during the episode when they go to a Chinese restaurant and he gets the fortune cookie and he opens up his fortune cookie and it says, "You will find a new love." And he's like, "Oh no, the cookie's telling me I have to cheat on my wife." And then they, like, cut back to the kitchen and they're making fortune cookies in their kitchen, which is not standard, but let's just go with it here. And they're like, "We're out of the new love batch." Okay, just put some of the stick with your wife out. It's great. It's great. And, like I said, he does not cheat on Marge. So go Homer, because he gets put down a lot, but he does not cheat on his wife, and that's pretty respectable. And also, hilarious episode. And my top favorite episode, as I just gave away a moment ago, is the 5th episode of the 5th season, which is Treehouse of Horror IV, because they started doing them in the 2nd season. This one is actually the one that has Bart introducing the sketches in, like, creepy painting form. So it's the first one that took place very unrealistically, where the other ones were more like Halloween parties and stuff. They had to get creative. And it's awesome. It's literally one of my favorite Halloween sketches of all time is in this. So there is the sketch Terror at 5.5 Feet, which is Bart sees a gremlin on the side of the school bus, and it's, like, terrorizing him. And that is a takeoff of the Twilight Zone, at least I believe it is. There is Bart Simpson's Dracula, which is awesome, and that is a parody of Bram Stoker's Dracula in the sense that it's about vampires, and Mr. Burns wears a hairdo for a little while, but it's actually just a vampire story, and it's freaking awesome, Mr. Burns being a vampire and trying to get the Simpsons, and, perfect. And then the best part is the devil in Homer Simpson, which is when Homer sells his soul to Ned Flanders, who is the devil, because he's the last person you'd expect to be the devil, and he does it for a donut, and Marge gets him off, and it's a takeoff of the devil and Daniel Webster, because they have a trial to get his soul, and it's, everything about it is just perfect. Even the little ending where the freaking cops are, what happens is Ned, the devil, is like, "Okay, well, Marge owns your soul. I understand that you guys made the agreement when you got married, but may that ill-begotten donut be forever on your head. And then Homer's head turns into a donut. And then there's more jokes because Marge is like, stop picking at it. And he's eating his own head as a donut. And I believe there's a toy of this, and it's amazing. And then they cut away, and all the cops in Springfield are outside the house with cups of coffee. And they're like, he has to come out sometime, boys. And it's just perfect. So if nothing else, go watch that episode, Treehouse of Horror 4, from Season 5 right now. And this is whenever I get to tell you that, unfortunately, I'm sorry, Season 5. Season 5 of The Simpsons is not available to buy on streaming at all. As I've mentioned in previous videos, you can watch, or to, stream for free, like through a service. You can stream the newest season of The Simpsons on Hulu if you have a subscription. But the other seasons, they don't have any deals for them like Netflix or anything. But a lot of the other seasons you could buy on Amazon. This one you cannot. But sometimes you can buy individual episodes, and I did check, and you can buy the Treehouse of Horror episode. So I will put a link to that below. Amazon affiliate, blah, 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 disclosed, I'm not making money off this, honestly. Like, if you bought it, I'd probably make a couple pennies or something if you cleared your cookies. It's a bunch of, I just want to put it there so you know where to find it, because The Simpsons is amazing. Those are my top 5 favorite episodes for Season 5. I will be back with Season 6 soon. Let me know what your favorites were for Season 5. And what other type of videos you'd like to see me do too. Like I do a lot of streaming reviews and just random other things, theme park related stuff, unboxings, just fun stuff. So thank you for joining me. Please come back, like, share, and subscribe, and have a great